Look at me. No sound. What an amateur. All right, let's start over again. Good morning, everyone. It is October the 12th, 2025. Happy to be here. It is a magnificent day in St. Pete, Florida. I mean, absolutely stunning. Must be about 68, 70. Dry, sunny, beautiful. Fall is here. You're here. People are showing up in the room, 165 people in the room already. Congratulations to you all for doing something that's important. I do think this is important. We spend a whole 1 or 2 hours a week on, you guys can hear me now, right? We spend an hour or two a week shaping our lives, creating our lives, imagining our lives, and then we spend 175 hours or so a week. 24 times 7, 28, 14, 168 hours. The other 166 hours just doing stuff. That's interesting, right? We spend 1 or 2 hours a week, like Kotoshi's pulling up on the pew. Okay, we spend 2 hours a week here, max. 166 hours responding to the world, and then we wonder why we're dazed and confused. And by the way, the best part of dazed and confused is the bloody song. It's not being dazed and confused. Hitch slap. Good to see you in here, buddy. Thank you for being here. James Smith was here. First guy in the room today, sitting at the front of the pew, warming it up. Love that. 350 people here. Rachel, you're here. Rachel Elizabeth, she is always here. I love the people that are here on a regular basis. You guys are, I know you're inviting people who are listening to Bitcoin shows. I know you're going to invite people who lost a humongous amount of money. The largest liquidation in financial history, is my understanding, happened the last 2 days. I think there's a lot of people that need to be in this room. Okay, there's a lot, and we're going to talk about losses today. We're going to talk about losing, losses, making mistakes, hitting the wall, crashing out, falling, and I'm going to tell you that it is at those points in time when I become lethal. I may not like it at the time, but I become lethal when my back is against the wall. I'm going to suggest that if you're in a tremendous amount of struggle right now, and you found your way to this room, I think everyone is going to end up in a shitload of struggle that is in this room. I think you're here in this room so that you can have a tool when you hit the wall. I find hitting the wall has been really, really good for me. Although I hate it at the time. Anwar, Lee, Ziegler, RJ Mendoza. I hate losing when I'm losing. I hate making a mistake. I then look at it and I spend all my time looking at the mistake. It is only to the point when I can acknowledge the mistake I made, and then I learn, oh, wow, this is my gift, okay? And now I should have known I made this mistake prior. Had I been aware and sensitive and really listening to myself, every mistake I have made, at some point I knew I made it and I didn't unwind it. So we're going to talk about losses, mistakes, getting off the track, thinking you're going west and you find out you've deviated your position way, 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 way off. It does not take much to get off of your path. It doesn't. It does not take much for me to get off my path. I have to I have to continue to realign, I would say. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And if you guys think that anyone who is suffering health problems, maybe they've suffered a loss, uh, things happen in life that are really difficult. I had a phone call Friday about a friend of mine I have not heard from in months, 5 months, in fact. And he's from a different country, and he went missing. He's been missing for at least for since Wednesday. Um, a well-known cat in the payments industry, fraud, and lovely man, lovely family. They found him. Understand that he's been found. So why do I bring that up? Well, this is a good family. They're nice people, and they've had something happen to them uh, that is going to shake their foundation, right? If you live long enough, you will have something that will shake your foundation. If you live long enough, you will have something happen to you that will shake your very foundation about who you are, what you are, why you're here. And just so that we're because my audience, I have a lot of people that follow Bitcoin and crypto, and I'm not making this into a crypto show. This is I am rich beyond belief. I am super wealthy. I am present. I am a rare one of one. Okay. I am the most unique asset on planet Earth. I think you are one of the most unique assets on planet Earth. And it is only when I start identifying myself with my wealth, with my assets, with my Bitcoin, with this, with that house, with these problems. Look, it's just I have something or I don't have something. Okay, but it's outside of me. What do I have right now that's of value to you? Do you care how much Bitcoin I have? Do you care if the Bitcoin price that I bought was 180,000 or $10? Do you care? All you care about right now is, hey, I have a place to go on Sundays. I sit there and listen to this cat talk, and we spend an hour and a half together thinking about what it is I am here for. For anybody that took a major loss this last week, whether it's over health or wealth, really ask yourself, okay, are you your bank account? Are you? I don't think you're your bank account. I am most certainly not my bank account. I never have been my bank account. My bank account actually only makes me nervous. It never makes me happy. It doesn't. I I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Bitcoin. They do not make me happy. I mean, by the time I'm done with this trade, I will have 1,000 Bitcoin. It's been my goal from the beginning. I'm getting closer and closer. I think I'll get there this year, and my family will be fairly secure. Big deal. I could drop dead tomorrow morning. Okay, I have a kid in another country right now. What if something happened to her? My Bitcoin don't matter to me. I have pains in my hand that I've never had in my life. I don't know where they're coming from, but if this continues, it doesn't matter how many Bitcoin I have. I'm looking on Spaces right now. I'm watching hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people sitting in rooms listening to financial conversations on a Sunday morning. And with all due respect, okay, like I spend a lot of time listening to people about money. I need to spend more time listening to myself and listening to other people giving me a message of why don't we stop blaming all the politicians and all the leaders and realize we have failed to take a leadership position in our lives. And no wonder we live in mass confusion. Stuff like this is going to happen, okay? I'm actually predicting that in the next 90 days, I don't know why I keep saying this, before the end of the year, our world is going to be substantially different than it was yesterday. I'm quite certain of that. I have this feeling, I talk to you guys about these certain feelings in my body right here, man. We are getting ready to have to confront something bigger than what we've ever confronted. I actually believe that. And I don't think we're ready. Okay. I think when I see 1,100 people though walking into a room on a Sunday, and I don't think there's many churches in the world with 1,100 people in them. Okay. Now, I guess I'm going to get some wankers in here that tell me that there's only 100 people in here. Maybe that's true. I don't really know. However, like I have hope, man. When I started doing this a year ago, by the way, this is, I missed one Sunday in November for the Washington inauguration. So this is my 50th Sunday session here. We will have completed a full year here in 2 weeks doing these for about an hour and a half. Hour and a half, 2 hours, a lot of content, a tremendous amount of my own honesty, which, by the way, has only endeared me with other people. There are very few people that are coming on the show and, slaughtering the authenticity that I'm attempting to deliver. Now, you could ask yourself, hey, what's the goal of this guy? Why is he doing this? Why am I doing it? It's because I've been told to come here and do this. That's it, man. Like, I am a good student. When I have a boss that knows what he's doing. Oh, by the way, for you guys that have taken a loss and you were trying to run your own show by yourself, one of the things you might want to consider is, hey, man, you need some help. You need a third party. You need someone to advise you, right? To help, to look at your blind spots. I have a lot of blind spots. Think about this, man. Whether you're a parent or whether you're someone that's wanting to find a spouse and have marriage, or whether you're a business person trying to build something, I mean, think about the logic here. You were here, and I think you're here because you acknowledge that you have not spent much time doing I am. This is very, very simple process, right? I am Gary Cardone. Ooh, what does that mean? If I would have been doing this at 5 years old, I would have looked at my twin brother and gone, okay, he is him with special skills, and I am me. Now, I didn't really think about this logically, but once I start recognizing that I am separate and apart from every other entity, my parents, my wife, my girlfriend, my father, my brother, and my spouse, dude, I am separate and unique. I came to this world by myself, and I most certainly will leave this planet completely naked and alone. Zero. Nobody's coming with me. Nobody's holding my hand. My blind spots for 60 years, things that I think I know for sure that I hold on to that are simply not true, things that were true at one time that are no longer true, but I hold on to them because I have a blind spot. I can't let go. I believe I am a certain way, and so I continue down a path of blind doingness. Blind doingness. Usually that blind doingness is following a crowd. Following a crowd. So see, I'm gonna write that down. Following a crowd or the crowd. By the way, the crowd, not just any crowd, is usually for me the absolute worst crowd to follow. The crowd at the time is a fashion statement, and it will die. My blind spot is who is Gary Cardone under all situations. I am a very different person in business than I am on a date. Extremely different. And this is why I personally will never do business with a romance ever again, because I treat romance very different than I treat business. Now, maybe one day, I think I was going to say maybe one day I'll do it differently, but the truth is, people in business are prepared to handle my communication in a different way than if you're hanging out with someone. You know, I can say no in business in a way that is no, and then I can say no in a relationship. But if I say them the same way, it's probably not going to go over well. The point I'm trying to make is I have blind spots. Okay. I have blind spots of greed, passion, fear, anger, prejudice. What's the word when you get locked into something and you can't change? You know, you're just like concrete, stuck in your own belief system. Losses do not define who you are. Losses do not define who you are. By the way, I believe that wins do not define who you are either. In fact, the more you are defined by a loss or a win, explains to me, well, let me say it a little differently so that everyone can experience what I believe. I believe that if I begin identifying myself with my wins and my losses, or either, I've lost my way, because I am not my wins and my losses. Those are things that I did. They're not who I am. I am me, okay? And what is me? I actually think I'm more about my intention than I am about anything else. Now, that just came to me, okay? As I challenge this thought process, and I think this is really good to do, right? What I'm doing is I go, hey, look, I can't possibly be defined by my losses. How many people have ever heard in their lives, hey, you're not defined by your losses, you're defined by how many times you can get up? Who loves the guy that can get up? Even the guy that's getting beat in the ring, man. If he just keeps getting up over and over, at some point you're like, my God, man, his intention, his mind is so hardwired to not surrender. It's respectful. You respect it. You're like, wow. Okay. So I think my losses can't define me. I mean, they most certainly will put me on a path that I have to I can't live in a loss forever, right? I have to figure out how to fix the mistake. If losses don't define me, then wins should not define me. I am a billionaire. Big deal, man. Big deal. What? Oh gosh, great. Yay. Another one. I am a good human being. I am a good spirit. I want to help people. My intention is to do more good than damage on this planet, man. In the whole universe, I want to bring good and good intention. It is my intention to do it. I intend to be a powerful, positive force on planet Earth. Has nothing to do with money or how many houses I have or how many losses I have. Like, I've been divorced 3 times. Call me a failure, man. Am I a failure? Someone laughed at me once, said, wow, dude, what's wrong with you? I'm like, well, gosh, what's wrong with me? I keep trying to get married to somebody, okay? Maybe I'm picking the wrong person. Maybe I was never supposed to be married. I was doing what everyone else does in life. I mean, you guys told me this is what human beings do. I've had 2 kids out of it. I wouldn't take those guys back. But in reality today, I look at it and go, hey, did I ever really intend to be that husband? You know, to be that guy. Like, I went into these marriages without of my own full volition. I just said that, okay? I allowed society to push me into marriage. I was a sheep, okay? I found women so that I could have that part of the deal done and I could get on with things. I know it sounds insane, right? It sounds crazy. I treat personal relationships totally different than I do business. And I've had some really, really cool businesses. I've had some really cool, interesting relationships with people. I produce a couple of kids. I've got, 3 ex-wives. 2 of them think I'm a decent human being, probably a very good human being. And one of them's still a little angry at me. Okay, so I made some mistakes. Big, 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 big deal. Okay, my kids are who they are. They're going to be who they are because we put them through whatever. Look, this is their life, man. I'm not going to sit here and grovel and be a defeatist over a loss. Dude, I'm going to get up. I'm going to whine and cry and scream for however long it takes. I am going to choose to be angry for a day. By the way, these emotions that we have over these losses, guys, after a few years, okay, like, you can't keep blaming people. Like after some time, I got to pivot. Okay. Not stay stuck in a loss. I've lost, I hate to even tell people, but the first thing that I do when I make a loss is I go, hey, what the hell just happened? What did I not understand? I do a reality check with myself. There's something I didn't understand. I'm not blaming anyone. I hear these people talking about, hey, the markets are manipulated. Dude, you got into a market. Markets are always manipulated. Like you put your position on so large and you're like, well, you don't really think you're in control, do you? You know, I think about I would never get on a sailboat. I don't care how big it is, 180 feet, and not look at the weather and attempt a passage for the next 365 days. People invest in things for 365 days or 35 days, and they don't check the weather. And they also never assume that the weather they did check, if they checked it, that weather could change and a hurricane could blow up. You don't do it that way. You would never take a 6-month journey across the water and not constantly check the weather. But not constantly understand you're on a 180-foot boat or an 18-foot boat in an ocean the size of a planet. You're nothing, a speck of nothing. I mean, actually, I'm actually challenging myself. Guess I got to say it out loud, otherwise I will never ever do it. That's the other thing, by the way. You want to know a trick? A really cool trick? Communicate things you're scared to do in public. For instance, I think it would be awesome for me to sign up for like a cross-Atlantic sales trip with a crew by myself. I mean, preferably it'd just be a journey by myself. I could never do it. I would die. But I'm terrified to do this. Everyone I have ever known that did a cross-Atlantic sail trip, it changed their lives massively. Massively. To be out on the ocean in the middle of nothing. Realize how insignificant we are. You know, we drive around in our Audis and our BMWs on the highway 80 miles an hour, got our little touch screens, listening to any kind of music we want while we watch our stock portfolios go. We're communicating on X. We're watching President Xi and President Trump argue, thinking we're top of the world. We got all these devices. By the way, all these devices, you know, we carry around with us. Have you noticed how much stuff you're having to carry around with you just to stay connected? It drives me crazy. I actually think that's part of my hands. I'm carrying devices too often and holding them and touching them. Thinking I'm in touch with the world, but I'm not. The most I'm in touch with the world is right now. Right now, every Sunday, I'm more in touch with the world than in any other way I operate because there's zero mask here. That's very interesting, right? So where I was headed, boy, be nice, boys. Where I was headed was this thing about me being scared to do this cross-Atlantic thing. I may not do it. Okay, I may not have the courage to do it, but I know most certainly, like I know right here, well, that would be something I should do. Okay, like I have never traveled alone just for discovery. I have traveled by myself 1,000,000 times, 1,000 times, 10,000 times for a war. And by war, I mean business. For me, it's always been about, okay, because I've always been on the outside. You guys that say, hey, you have no edge, I have never had an edge. Edges are overrated, man. Edges are overrated. Okay, so find something you're terrified to do and put it in a little box. Find something that vibrates and you're like, man, that would be scary to do. Okay, put it in a box and just mark it down as something you need to maybe consider. Something out of the ordinary. I'm a big believer, man. Do something out of your box and find out who you are. I have a daughter right now living in the middle of a jungle. Well, actually, a jungle, and with a 58-year-old woman, a 22-year-old, and two adults. Um, no Wi-Fi. She's 3 weeks into this deal. Okay, she's going to do 3 weeks. 18-year-old kid. Okay, she's doing stuff that is so far out of her box. Okay, she doesn't even have her telephone. I mean, her telephone doesn't work where she's at. I'm envious of her. Okay, like I am throwing her into a universe where I wish someone would have done this for me. I'd have been awesome. And I had more access to the world, more understanding of the world, better. You know, if she doesn't get hurt, it's going to be absolutely spectacular for her future. Now, when you hear that, when you hear me say that, you know that's true. Okay, this kid, she's a good kid. Okay, she's mature. She's more mature than I was by 10 years. I could not have done this when I was 18. But let me tell you, I mean, just think about the size of her palette. Okay, the size of her colors. Like I had one or two colors to play with, black and red. If you're in a spot right now in your life is a trick and you have nothing else to lose, let's say you're just like fucked up. Sorry for the language, but you know, my God, by the way, my God is so big. He really doesn't get upset over four-letter words. Okay. He really does not have time to get his religious morality upset over a four-letter word. So if God's going to give me a little room on my use of the F bombs, I'm pretty sure that you guys can handle it. I'm quite certain your 18-year-old can handle it. If they go to school, they are most certainly hearing the F word on a regular basis, probably in the wrong context. So adventures, get out of your box. Those things that you're scared of, stick in a box, okay? I want you to stick in a box. I am scared to do this, okay? But it would be awesome for me and my development. Do you ever think about your development? Do you ever think about me and my development? You're developing. Your cells are changing every 7 years. Your body is completely rejuvenated with cells. That means your mind too. Your brain, your bone, your sperm, your eggs, everything. 7 years has been replenished, changed completely. You know, there's only one way to become anti-fragile. Okay, anti-fragile. If you don't know that term, I would encourage you to read a book. Let me find the author here for you. This is not, well, I was going to say this is not a spiritual book, but in fact, I actually think it is it's by Nassim Taleb, Anti-Fragile, Things That Gain from Disorder. This guy studies things like, hey, is it really good to use a Stairmaster or to do habitual athletic moves? And the answer is going to be no. The best way to get your body in shape is to do it on a very irregular route. Because if you're doing something consistent and there's no changes, there's no inconsistencies, you're not creating enough breakage to then heal and make stronger. This whole concept of anti-fragile concept, things that gain from disorder. Okay, think about when you're in disorder, you can go, oh, wow, I have the ability now to make my concrete really strong. Okay, all this friction, all this pressure, as long as I don't exit the system, as long as I don't give up, as long as I don't, become impotent because of the breakage. How do I become impotent? I listen to other impotent people. Oh, poor baby. No, get up. You made a fucking mistake. Now get up. You're 22, man. Okay, you're 22. The economy's really hard. Hey, there's not a 30-06 fucking ringing by your ear, dude. Like, remember, your grandparents and great-grandparents and the great-grandparents before them, they were slaves. They were raped. They were pillaged. They went to war when they were 16. They had their heads blown off, their legs blown off, their bodies destroyed, their cities destroyed, their families obliterated. And you're worried about being 32 and you can't get a job. Or you're worried about being 42, you took a stupid position on something you didn't control and it went down. And you got liquidated because you're playing a game you didn't understand. Okay? Playing a game you didn't understand. I have less sympathy for a guy that loses $1 billion trading. I actually have. Look, we can all think these markets are manipulated, but the truth is there've been millions and millions and millions of people harmed far greater through systems that are so unfair, it's ridiculous. So whether you're taking a financial loss, an emotional loss, a physical loss, family loss, look, I know people that have lost their children, lost their dads. Okay, you have to put this stuff in perspective. You're not dead. I lost $120 million in 1 year, 9 months. Every morning I would wake up and go, okay, how much is my loss going to be today? I was working for a large corporation that I helped build, public. These losses theoretically could have taken the company down. I had my whole career. Well, my career was going to get toasted. This is in 1998. 1998. And I remember going to my bosses. I was in Italy. I think I've told this story before. I was with my second wife, board meeting, and my CEO, Chuck, said, hey, I'm down. We know we've breached every risk management rule we had. Kept revising them, amending them. I'm on the phone. I'm getting ready to have a heart attack. I'm 39, 38, 39. I mean, I'm really literally, this position's so large. I carried it for 9 months. And my boss on the phone said, hey, I think we should double this position. We believe in you, Gary. Let's double the position up. We'll give you more credit. I mean, we're talking about billions of dollars. We'll give you more credit, and then we'll push the market down. And I had so much, there was so much pressure over the 9 months. I mean, imagine just being this pressure cooker, 17 years at a company, 25 years in an industry. I'm going to blow my rep up. And I wasn't really worried about my rep. I was willing. I told him, hey, man, let's just say I was a rogue trader and it went bad. And I'll lose my career over this, but at least the company doesn't get just slaughtered. And this guy's, after I said that, he said, let's double the position. I was staggered at his trust in me. And because of that, and I am a good soldier, okay? Like if I work for you, dude, I'm a good soldier. I'm really proud of it, okay? I do not surrender anyone ever. Unless you're a criminal, bad guy, I'm not surrendering anybody. When he said that, though, I said, "Hey, Chuck, this is a wrong trade, Chuck. Chuck, I made a mistake. We should get out of the trade, take our hit. Figure out how we take the hit the most logical way and take it. This is a bad trade. Should have gotten out of this thing a long time ago. It went bad. I can't do it. I think it's a huge mistake." So we pulled the position, closed it out. And this is why I want to share this. Okay. This is not an easy, this is including lots of other people, public company taking a major loss. Within 9 months on that pivot, okay, I immediately identified some areas that I'd made mistakes in. I'd done some delegation that I shouldn't have done for the wrong reasons. I went to the market, gave a speech after we closed the position in front of probably 2,000 people, cut my hair extremely short, and went in and gave the speech. And I said, "Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll notice my beautiful little buzz cut here, I mean, it was short. I said, I just wanted to acknowledge that all of you participated in giving me my buzz cut." That moment, do you guys understand what I'm saying? Everyone in the industry, when I was a big mouth, I'd made $250 million the prior 2 years shorting that market and embarrassing everyone. Shell, Exxon, British Gas, Centauri, the Norwegians, everyone got hammered. Probably put 2.5 billion pounds of hurt on a market in 9 months. They were pissed off at me, man. They knew I was short, and they ripped me into shreds. BP, Mobil, Conoco, Shell, Exxon, dude, everyone would take a turn. Everybody had a time spanking Gary in public. So what do? I show up with the buzz cut and go, "Man, you guys obliterated me." Stood up like a man in front of everybody and said, "Whoa, that was interesting." 9 months later, I bought all of the storage in the entire country, 98% of all the storage over a lunch table. Over a lunch table. Why am I sharing that? Because I pivoted, man. I closed a position out that was fucked up. I understood that it was screwed up. I got out of it. I got rid of all the noise, acknowledged it, manned up to the problem, and then people had no clue what was getting ready to hit them. Okay, because I was free of those shackles of the bad decision I had made. No one expected me to recover this quick. By the way, if anyone ever, you want to know a superpower, folks? Okay. Here's a superpower. And the very opposite of this is a super mistake. If people underestimate you, don't argue with them ever. Oh my God. I had a date a week ago, and I said something, and the person was grossly offended by the underestimation. I'm like, "Why are you getting all offended? You want people to underestimate you. If I underestimate you and then you perform at a certain level, I'm going to be like, wow, that's interesting. If you're my enemy and I underestimate you, I'm going to get hurt." I love being underestimated. They don't prepare. Now, today I don't have that luxury. I'm actually speaking from great experience here, okay? I walk into a room, everyone's nervous. Everybody thinks that I'm this super big negotiator, which is hilarious because I'm actually the most straight up, easiest guy to negotiate with in the world. I don't get all bent out of I don't I'm not worried about winning every argument. Okay. Like, let's do a deal. It's good for everyone. Like, I think there's plenty to go around. I don't know why people got to grab every little penny. That has never been my interest. If my intentions are good, okay, if I'm not underestimating you and treating you like a punk and then trying to take advantage of you, I'm most certainly not going to allow you to take advantage of me, but I'm most certainly going to allow you to underestimate. And better yet, if I can get an entire industry to underestimate me, that is even better. So don't underestimate your enemy. Overestimate what their ability is. Overestimate and accurately estimate what your skills, your abilities, your assets, and your liabilities are. I am Gary. And guess what? Gary comes with some noise. I am not perfect. I am Gary. I have a whole thing that comes with me. Okay. I have to make mistakes. Do you think, see, I like this painting right here behind me. I'm not sure I liked it in the beginning, but I love the colors. And I don't know why I like it. I like this little black and white down here. Okay. Took me about 20 minutes to paint that painting. Do you know how many paintings I did before these? This is why I got really interested in art because I did a study on Pablo Picasso and I did the math, and I am good at math. And I said, well, okay, let's assume he started at 20 and he finished at, I think, 60. He didn't live long. I can't remember what the math was, but the amount of artwork he created in such a short period of time was staggering. Staggering. But that's not what I really thought about. What I thought about was how many paintings did he paint? And if you're a painter or a creator or a writer or anything, you know, you burn more than you show. There's more stupid stuff, ugly, ill prepared junk that comes out of attempting to do something and learning something. This is why I don't sell my art. Because I see people selling art for $500. I'm like, dude, why? The canvas costs you $50 to $135. And the only reason you're selling that for $500, you just must need $500 worth of cash. But people forget, man. That guy painted 30,000 paintings before that one. Do you really get that one painting because it's everything else was priced too cheap? Do you understand what I'm saying? We undervalue what people go through to get to where they're at. We don't value it properly. We judge people without full knowledge of you know the saying, right? Hey, walk in their shoes, man. Take a walk in their shoes. I have been a hypercritical. I grew up in a critical family. Okay, I grew up in a family that was scared, and when people are scared, they judge other people. And I grew up in an era where racism and judgment and putting people in boxes was acceptable. It was our society. It was maybe not acceptable, but it was done on a fairly regular basis. I have been called wop, nigger, dago, white trash, shit. Most of my whole life. Okay, like we didn't really get all jacked up over it then. I don't. I mean, we become very soft. You know, somebody call me names over and over and over again. I used to hear this thing. Hey, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. My own words to myself are the ones that do the most damage. My own words to myself do the most damage. And when I have words about you or about other situations that are critical or negative, really, I need to learn from my own issues, not you. You're merely a mirror or a reflection of an area that I need to work on. It. If you don't like me, there's something inside of you, man, that's either you should be doing this, or I'm reminding you of something that you did and you didn't like the way you did it. Or maybe I'm reminding you of your arrogance because I appear arrogant. Or maybe you don't like the way I speak, okay? And you should have gone to elocution school or charm school. Or maybe you should have been, a CEO and you chose not to be. Or maybe you didn't get up. Maybe you took that big loss and you didn't pivot. The greatest the greatest adventures, and I think it's worth looking at life as an adventure. Yo, reportedly, 1.2 million people lost their entire net worth in the last 72 hours in crypto. 1.2 million people liquidated. I don't know if that's true or not. But let's pretend like 500 years ago, uh, we were born in a sailing family in the Viking era, and we grow up. We become 17. Our father is a warrior. We go out on the boats with him. I go out on the boats. I become a young warrior. We go into an event. And we take massive losses. We lose our ships. We lose our people. I lose my dad. If I was reading a book about this great story, it would be one of the great adventures of life. If we look back and listen to these stories of the man that lost $1 billion or his gold mine or his whole family, and then he went on to either become nothing and die and or he went on to do something. But most certainly he is going to turn the corner and do something. That adventure will either kill him or it will make him into something different. So I would beg you, I would beg you, and I know, okay, like I have lost, I have been through so much money. Grant and I should actually do a show on this sometime when we can get our shit together, but I have lost so much money, almost given it away. Just never really been that tied to money, okay? It's just not. I actually don't want to be tied to it. Now, I don't want to start sending my mind messages that I want to get rid of money. I think money is very powerful. You know, for me, my intention is to use my wealth, my power for good. Quite frankly, this is more challenging than me giving away money. I could easily give away money every year. Which one do you want me to do? Give away money or do this? There is no amount of money that I could give you. This is more valuable than anything I'm going to do. You know what? I'm going to build a case that I will probably be known if you even need to be known. See, I think that's just an ego thing. But I think if we look back on the adventure of Gary Cardone, I mean, I've got some awesome stories. I could, I could have a twice a week story thing, just insane stories that happen to people that live pretty full lives. If you guys that took big losses look at this as an adventure and go, "Hey, man, I just hit the Snake River. I lost all my peeps. I'm in a war. You know, I I now have to cross the desert, and it's going to take me 90 days." It's an adventure, man. Okay, you chose this adventure. Understand you chose this journey. There's something in it for you, okay? Just like a crazy Indiana Jones story or a 007 story or a great espionage story, okay? It's okay. No one cares if you made a mistake. I don't care. What I care about is that you don't underestimate yourself. See, if you were able to create such a shit show of a mistake, that tells me that you're able to create a shit show of success. And you just haven't zoned in yet, man. Okay, I really use this analogy of being an F-35 fighter or a weapon system that is so refined. A weapon system that is so refined. Okay, I don't waste my ammo on small projects. I'm a 50 caliber weapon. Okay, I have extreme ballistics. I'm armor piercing. I don't shoot squirrels. I don't focus on squirrels. I never even look at squirrels. Okay, I zone out. I focus. I get in the zone. Okay, I only have so much ammo. I am not wasting this precious ammo. You see, you're not wasting you. You're the bullet, dude. You're the bullet. You're the weapon system. You're the scope. I am. Okay, I am the weapon. I am the weapon. The question is, how focused am I? I underestimate my ability to focus on too many things at once. Okay. Meaning, hey, I'm right to underestimate myself that way. I need to focus. I cannot be great at 10 things at one time. And maybe I can be, but I can't be today. Okay. Today, I am focused on doing one thing, talking with you, being authentic, and intending to create change, positive change on this planet. The more I do it, I think the more or the less fragile I become over it. The more I do this, the more awareness I become, the more aware I become. The more aware I become, the less mistakes I make. I become sensitive to everything around me. Like really, intend to send out a whole net around you. Okay, like a Wi-Fi. Okay, like energy. Like expand the energy around you. Now, right now, if you're beat up and you got just brutalized, if you're into if you're in that space right now, a number of people have reached out to me over the weekend going, "Man, I'm really looking forward to Sunday because I have stuff to deal with." And look, man, everyone, okay, everyone is going to be challenged. Everyone's going to have a tough time at some point in their life. And I'm begging you, okay? When I hit the wall, what I do is I trick myself and I go into a space and I go, okay, look, I'm going to lick my wounds here for an hour. I literally give myself permission to lick my wounds for an hour. Man, how did I get in this fucking position? I don't worry about, like, I don't need to add it all up. What the fuck? I then give myself, we're going to get to emotions because emotions are deadly when this shit happens. Okay. Emotions are overrated. They're overrated and we spend too much time talking about them. We do. Look, I've spent a lot of money with psychologists, psychiatrists, spiritual healers, not because I was broken, but because probably because I was broken, but because I want to question why I have these things going on inside of me. It makes no sense. Okay. So I've been very interested in understanding more about myself. I know people that know everything about chemistry and gravity and money, and yet they don't even know themselves. They never spend any time looking at their own library. I am a library of information. It doesn't mean it's all right. It's just a library of experience, information, belief systems, data that's not even accurate. Okay. Like we have been, I was going to say lied to. We have not been fully informed on the facts on this planet, folks. Okay. Like there are things that we don't know. So what we're doing, I think, is we're using emotions. I get a big loss. I immediately get angry because I got scared. I get scared. I get angry. Now, look, the anger thing. The angry thing. A lady really helped me one day. A lady that I'll probably never, ever see again. What was her name? Anyway, I was on the phone with her one day. I'll never forget where I was sitting, what the temperature was like. This was a huge deal, okay? I got caught so off guard. I mean, talk about being unaware. Dumb. I mean, I get caught off guard big time. Get trapped in a very, very, shall we say, it would be very, 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 very easy to get extremely angry. Anyway, this lady made a comment. She said, Gary, her name was Kim. She said, Gary, you get to decide how long you're going to be angry. Or something like that. And the way she said it, I was like, you know what? I'm giving myself the rest of the day to be extremely angry. And then I'm done. This is in 2021, February 2020. Three months after I had been accused of every crime you could imagine, attempted to have bank accounts taken out, and my children removed, along with manipulating a member of my family. And my children. When she said that to me, it really hit me. Like I'll never regret that she came into my life. I probably would have become one of these really bitter people because I could have got stuck in that. You know, making the decision of being angry, you get to make the decision how long. I'm going to encourage you, if you're angry right now, hey man, you got the rest of the day to be angry, okay? Good. Now let's move on. Because there is no solution in the anger unless it's going to drive you. Okay, which is cool that the anger drives you. Okay. But I got to get beyond anger. I can't keep doing this and blaming people. I need to do this. I need to look at me. I'm the only one digging myself out of this hole. Only one digging myself out of this hole is I am. I can talk about it. I can yap about it. I can go on X. I can complain. The more you do that, the more you are stuck, my friend. If you're in a major loss, take credit for what you did. You created this. I know it's hard. Doesn't matter. If you're in a loss right now and you haven't cut it, dude. If you're in a relationship right now and you know you're like, hey man, we're two different people. Sit down with the other person and have an authentic conversation about it. Don't waste another 2 years of his life or your life. Don't do that to him. Don't waste anyone's time. If you don't really, really love someone, if you're not really partnering with someone on a level, if you're in a trade that's not right, like you do not have to get, if you're in a religion that you think's wrong, look at everything. If you have sponsors, mentors, teachers that aren't teaching you the right thing, start teaching yourself. Search, okay? Dig. You ran into this hole, okay? You're underground right now. You're buried. I got it. I've been there. I will probably be there again. Okay? I will prepare for difficulty. I am prepared for difficulty. Life gets difficult, folks. There is not a time, if you live long enough, that you're not going to wake up and go, wow, what just happened? What just happened? And we most certainly are living on a planet where everyone is going, wow, man, nothing is stable. If I can look at my losses and my wins as adventures, man, not guideposts, maybe they are guideposts, okay, but I have to reframe the way I look at things. Okay. I am me. I am experiencing this life. I am most certainly creating. I believe I am creating most all of my adventures. If you're bored, it's because you don't have enough adventure. Okay. If I'm angry, I'm not doing anything except anger. If I'm scared, I'm not acting. Why am I scared? And I'm scared when I have been beat up so many times, I'm scared to make a move. If you're scared to make a move after you've been beat up a bunch of times, it's because you may not have any other moves. Okay. Like in order to pivot, which I believe pivot is a super, super word. Investment bankers hate it. It suggests that you made a mistake. I don't think any business plan starts out perfect. And therefore, if no business plan starts out perfect, no life plan starts out perfect. Every life plan and every business plan needs tweaking, consistent and constant, perpetual tweaking. Not the first principle tweak, but the short little movements to get to the first principle. See, I need a first principle. My first principle is I am honest, I'm authentic, and my intention is good. These are core principles for me. I'm not willing to surrender. And I don't have to be angry about it. I can just say, hey, look, man, I have some core principles, authenticity. Why? Well, you may think that I'm just a great guy because I want to be authentic. But the truth is, it's probably just an ego selfish thing. Supply and demand suggests to me that there is little to no authenticity on this planet relative to fakes. And therefore, it's probably in my best interest to be authentic. It's not complicated for me. I'm not a super genius human being. So if I'm not a super genius human being, I'm not a physics genius, I'm not a chemist, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a philosopher, then perhaps I just look at things like, wow, there's not much authenticity in the world. You know what? It's something that I value greatly. Like, wow, I value authenticity in a massive way. And gosh, I think this is going to be a good trade for Gary because so few people are authentic. I am going to stand out. I am going to stand out. Some people don't want to stand out. You stand out, you get your head taken off. Okay. You stand out, you get people making comments. You stand out, you get attacked by, whoever doesn't like you, whoever you're irritating at the time. Only time I'm not authentic is when I'm scared that you're not going to like me. Right? So there's another fear. Okay. There's another emotion. Angry, scared, fear, sad. Sad does very little for me. Sad is not a if I'm sad, I need to get out of the sad. I can't stay there, okay? This is not a good place. I mean, I need to stay there for however long. I mean, you've got to get it out of it, but you don't have to live in it. Okay. Life is tough, man. Sometimes life is tough. The question is when you hit a wall like this, can you get up? Or do you underestimate yourself? For you guys that have children, okay, I would strongly encourage anyone that has a child or thinking about getting a child or having a child, read Anti-Fragile. Things that gain from disorder. It is your ability to snap back, change, tweak yourself, morph, mutate. I shall not surrender. Okay. It's important that I don't surrender. I'm not a surrenderer. I fight. I rather fight than surrender. Which one do you want to do? Sometimes life becomes really, really, really clear to me when I'm under the gun. In fact, it's the only time life becomes very clear to me. When it becomes black and white. Pick one, dude. Pick one. This is the way I start out with a journey. I go, okay, I'm going in this direction. Then I keep just doing this. Move. Okay. Hey, where's my journey? Where's my journey? Keep honing it down, honing it down, honing it down. Okay. Until I'm like laser focused. I'm laser focused and you're not. Who's going to win this game? If I'm laser focused and have the right time horizon and you have a short time horizon, who's going to win this game? People talk about how great China is because they think in terms of 500 years, and America is so screwed up because we think in terms of 1 year, 3 quarters, 4 quarters. It's the same thing, okay? Got to think long. I think 30 lifetimes. Hey, I want to be in the club of the evolved, man. I do. I want to see more than human beings. Okay. I think I'm more able than this. I think my body is actually uh, probably trapping me a bit. Okay. This world we live on where economics and money and fake money and stock prices, this is all just a little game, dude. We're literally in a monopoly game. No one's going to care who won the bloody game at the end. By the way, most people don't even finish the game. Okay. The game goes incomplete because it's not really a meaningful game. How many homes can I collect? No, dude, how much of me can I collect? That's the game. How much of me, how much of you can you collect? You know, in fact, write this down. How much of yourself do you understand on a percentage basis? Kid, how much do you understand on a percentage basis? And then you have to fracture your life down. You know, you draw this big circle and you go, okay, I have finance, I have romance, I have animals, I have spirit, I have God, I have a location, I have my dreams, I have all these things in a bucket, right? All these different things in a bucket, all these different things, romance, all these different health, food, how I intake, ambitions. I most certainly do not understand myself 100% in each of these buckets. You understand what I mean when I'm buckets of expertise, buckets of parts of one's life, right? Like I am not just my money. I'm not just God. I'm not just my spirit or love or hate. I'm a composite. Over lifetime, I'm going to every 7 years. I know no one ever tells us this. I don't know why, and I cannot prove this, but I'm telling you that every 7 to 10 years, you should see a cycle in your life. Like a wave, okay? And waves go up and down, up and down. It doesn't go straight up. Your life is not going to go like this. They lied to you, man. It's going to go like the ocean, okay? It's going to have waves up and down. You know, when I look at the ocean, I don't look at the down wave and go, wow, man, that's a loser. Oops. No, it's a wave. It's part of the deal. It's where the energy comes from. If I'm just going straight up all the time, nothing does that. Nothing does that. Okay? We're comparing fiction with reality, man. This does not happen. No one does this. Nothing does this. It does this. Okay? Assuming you're not cheating. The greatest stories in history, folks, the greatest stories in history are full of trauma, full of this. Do you agree? In fact, the more of this, the more exciting the story. So instead of looking at this like you fucked up and you're an idiot and you're going to shoot yourself in the face and you're going to destroy yourself and your wife's going to leave you and your kids are going to leave you and you're at the end of your wits, or you're going to try and make it all up tomorrow morning, take a breath, okay? Take a breath and understand that in this pressure, and only in this pressure, are diamonds formed. It is only under this pressure, okay? Shit looks like coal, dude. Okay, you're slaughtered across the economic landscape, coal dust everywhere. Collect yourself and pressurize. You don't, like, what does pressurize mean? You don't pressurize the whole planet. You go and pressurize one thing. Me, I am going to just wring me out. until every drop of inconsistency, errors, fiction, lies that I tell myself, good and bad, about myself and about you and the world, I need to get that shit and look at it. If you're making mistakes over and over and over and over again, folks, you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, making the same mistake. If you analyze what you're doing, really analyze it, put it down on a piece of paper, okay? Because when I write things, they look different to me, okay? Underestimate, okay? Don't overestimate everything. Don't overestimate how much you're going to make. Don't overestimate how easy life is going to be. Don't overestimate how cool that chick is. Okay, don't overestimate anything. Don't get too comfortable. This is why I rarely keep any money in the bank. Okay, I don't want to be comfortable. I know it's weird, huh? I don't want to be too comfortable because comfort leads me to doing a little. I need to be pressured, challenged. You know, if I throw a bunch of, I was just thinking about fireworks and how beautiful they are. But if I take all the stuff that's sitting in a firework, a big Roman candle or whatever, and I depressurize and I throw it all over the table, and then I throw a match on the fuse, what's it going to do? Right? It just burns up. However, if I put it in a compressed container like this and I light the fuse, wow, it makes a beautiful show. Get the point? Needs pressure, man. I need a container that does not leak emotions and sympathy all over the place. Sympathy is poison. I give no one sympathy. I will give you empathy. I will give you empathy if I have had the experience. If I have an experience, I have lost my dad at 9. If you are a young man or girl and you've lost your parent at an early age, man, I know what you're feeling like. I do not sympathize with you, but I do understand deeply how you probably feel. I have been there. That is empathy. I am empathetic. I have been there. I can experience it. I know what that feels like. Sympathy is, I feel so sorry and bad for you. Well, no, I don't feel sorry and bad for you. Man up. Let's roll. Life happens. Okay, got it. You're not a little baby. You got yourself here. Okay, you got yourself here. Now, I know people that are in prison right now. They love your problem. I know people that are dying right now. They would love your problem. I know a guy that has been missing for 4 days, and I'm sure their family would love your problem. Love's a funny old thing, ain't it? Love is a very, very interesting thing. I had about every 3 or 4 weeks, I have somebody sends me a note every 3 or 4 months. I love you, man. And I never respond to it. Because for me, this person, they're too busy to love. Like love is not me sending a text to somebody saying, I love you. You know what love is? And I don't know why I did this, but I'm just looking down at my notes. I'm looking at anti-fragile, looking at adventures, emotions, anger, scared, sad. Emotions, anger, sad, scared, sad. And then I just thought of this big, beautiful word right next to all these negative words, and it was love. Now, I would ask you to keep in mind, I'm not the lovey-dovey kind of guy. I am almost a part of me. 10 years ago, I wouldn't even tell you I thought of the word love. I was too cool. 30 years ago, most certainly too cool. Today, I go angry, scared, sad. Somebody's taking a lot of emotions, a lot of hit. And then I look at love and I think of the word love and I'm like, and I think of this person who sends texts, and I'm like, and it maybe that's the best they can do. But love for me, this is love. This is putting love out in a way that other people can digest it and use it for what they want. It's not a little tap on, hey, I love you. I need you, man. See, I think the world needs a lot of people who are I am authentic. I am good. I'm powerful. In those ways, I am extremely wealthy. In those ways, I am massively wealthy. I'm probably wealthier than I've ever been in my whole life, and I've been through. And I'm, you know what? It's very interesting. I feel like I've gone on too long today. It's really weird. The last 30 minutes, I've been like, hey, you need to end, man. And I'm like, whoa, it's only been an hour and a half. Funny, you know, it's weird how these thoughts go into one's mind. But next week, I never do this, but next week, I think I'm going to talk about, and I'd ask you guys to consider this for next week. As a topic. Is who are you communicating with? Who am I communicating with? I would love for you to, this is the reason I'm bringing that up. When I just did this thing about love, okay? See, this is a weird thing. Notice that I took my time out to talk to you, and I said, hey, look, 10 years ago, I wouldn't even mention the word. And then I wrote down the word love, and now I'm mentioning it. I'm saying, hey, look, I do think that this is an act of love. Why am I saying this stuff? And I think if we have more people put love out there, see, where I was headed to was I probably have less in my life today than I ever thought I would have. I have very little family. I have my 2 girls half the time, not even, full time. One of them's now left. So like, I have hardly any businesses, which I'm really glad about. I'm getting rid of all the noise. My identity for my whole life has been a warrior business guy doing massive amounts of activity. 2 years ago, I stick my head in this social media thing, not really understanding what I was doing with it. Have pretty much relegated to this as my only real attempt at any kind of what would we call this? Well, I was going to say news, but really church, right? Some place for us to think, some place for us to contemplate for an hour or two a day, an hour or two a month, a week. I mean, think about it: 6 hours a week, sitting in a church, just thinking, writing. You guys still got your books, right? You're using your books because the books, man. I got books. All the writing is beautiful. For some reason, when I write things down, it's like dropping a seed inside me. And then when I come back in here every week and I have all my notes, guess what I'm doing, dude? I'm just watering my seeds, tilling the ground. If you think your universe and the world, I don't really like to use the mind. Every time I point up here, I think, oh, that's the brain. I don't think that. I mean, maybe where my brain is, but my mind is beyond this. And this is why I've talked about, hey, I'd like you to think about who is giving you commands. When I have a thought come through my mind like, oh man, don't say anything about love. Where'd that come from? Where did that? I literally sitting here going angry, sacred, sad. I'm looking at my notes, and then I go, the word love, real big word too, about this big compared to the other words. And then I write that down. I'm like, where did that come from? Who's asking where'd that come from, by the way? And where did it come from? I have no idea where it came from. I did not say Gary said the word love. It literally, where did it come from? Who am I talking to? Who am I receiving messages from? Huh? Seriously. By the way, try to control the thought. Try to not think. Who is in control? I believe there's a number of things going on, and that if I am oblivious, if I am reading books and looking at charts and lost in some fiction, it may be time to take some quiet time and ask yourself, who am I really? What am I here for really? If you keep failing, it may not be your path. If you're failing or you have a failure, don't make that into being a failure. It is a failure. It is not failure. It is a failure. It is a bump in the road. It's a turn, dude. It's an adventure. Okay? It's an adventure. It's not boring. You want boring? There's 4 or 5 million people bored to death right now. There's 200 million people in America because we have too many things. The other thing, when you're, licking your wounds, you might want to look around and ask who else is in worse position. Because I have never, ever, not one time ever had a problem that someone didn't have a bigger problem. So I'd really like you to think about, and this may not sound sequitur, but who's speaking to you? Who are you talking to? The voices in your head, where do they come from? Are they friend or enemy? Real or not real? I hope you guys are getting something out of this, man. I am. I know that it's not the typical thing you see on X or YouTube or whatever, but if someone asked me to grade this, I would actually ask you guys to grade this, okay? After a year or so of doing this, I would like you to grade it, okay? And tell me constructively, okay, is it going too long? It's probably not too short. Is it, should I do something different? What else would you want? I'm just following my instincts and I swear to God, I swear to the universe that I show up here with really, really, really good intention. I have no negative intention. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm not trying to accelerate myself. If anything, I thought this would actually hurt me a little bit. Um, I was a little scared of that people would get maybe not want to do business or whatever. Whatever. That's not ever stopped me. But see, it's these little thoughts. Like I think you guys look at people that do things and they have a higher profile than you, and you think they don't go through all this. But I'm telling you, all this, I have to fight it all. Okay. And that's why me noticing and going, hey, whose voice is that? Whose message is that? Because it ain't mine. I don't believe that. I think I can do anything I want to do. In fact, I think there are things that I'm not doing that I should talk about. There are things that I'm more capable of that I'm not doing because I think I'm just lazy. Or maybe I'm confused, or maybe I don't want to get off focus. But regarding this show and what I'm doing right here, see, I can get all down on myself about what I'm not doing elsewhere, but this I'm proud of. I don't do things that I'm not proud of, by the way. I would strongly encourage everyone to make that a principle. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this principle. I don't participate in things I'm not proud of. I don't do things that I'm not willing to communicate and have other people know I do. I'm not. I don't think anything I do is that unhuman. I most certainly am not perfect. I am most certainly not perfect intellectually, morally, spiritually, or in any other way. I don't expect anybody else to be either. The road less traveled is less traveled. You're not going to find a lot of entertaining people on this journey. This journey requires mental fortitude. It requires the adventurer to continue to remind themselves they are unique in ways that diamonds are not unique. They are one of ones. Human beings walking on one of ones. If you're conscious, look, if you're in this room and you've hung out here more than 30 minutes, I think you're conscious. Okay, you have a level of consciousness. I think there's a lot of people that are not conscious. There's no choice there. I am awake. Do you want to be awake or asleep? I am awake. Okay. I wanted to be awake. I'm alive. I'm an adventurer. I want excitement. It comes with ups and downs. Can I push through the downs, man? Can I recover? Can I bounce back? Can I pivot? Pivot is so important. Course corrections are not mistakes, man. Course corrections are corrections. It's smart. You're not surrendering. You're correcting. You're aligning. I am aligned with the universe. I can say this to myself 1,000 times today, and it is not going to harm me. I am aligned with the universe. I am aligned with the energy of the universe, the infinite energy of the universe. I am invincible. I am invincible. Okay? I have a loss. I am invincible. I am a monster bouncer backer, dude. If you're not saying these things to yourself, guess what? I think, and this is why we're going to talk about this next week, I think you have another voice inside of you pounding, and you're not aware of it. You're not acknowledging it. Okay. When that negative thought comes through, you need to look at it and go, whoa, whoa, where'd that come from, bro? That is against one of one. Sorry, one of one is superior to your mental masturbation. The shit that your parents gave you, your teachers gave you, your nurse gave you, your older brother gave you, or some book you misread, misunderstood, interpreted because of your little bruises or trauma or prior viewpoints, does not make any of it real. It makes it what you believe. And I need to challenge everything I believe, okay? Every voice that's coming into my universe. You know, we talk a lot about hanging out with the right people and the wrong people. Bro, it's right here. If you're hanging around a bunch of people, it's probably because you're not even listening to yourself. You're listening to them. But when you get quiet, and this is not a couple's event, dude. This is not a company's thing that you can do. This is your own deal. You can't do this with your brother or your wife or your girlfriend. This is your own journey, man. You came to this world without him or her. You will most certainly leave this world without him or her or it. Everything you identify with, you're leaving, except self. I am invincible. I am infinite in energy and spirit. And I'm a powerful mofo. And I'm proud of that, okay? And if I can get to being a really strong, powerful man, a leader, a champion, a good champion, if I can do this, imagine if 100,000 people started doing this, man. I am, okay? I have been doing the I ams for so long, I cannot tell you. I am most certainly doing these on a Sunday morning because 40 years ago, 40 years ago, I started writing down, I am a great teacher. 40 years ago, 25, 26 years old, I started to look, I thought after I left school that the corporations knew how to teach. And then the corporations met me and they'd be like, man, you're too aggressive. Man, you got this problem. Man, you got that problem. Not one of these people actually gave me a school to go to fix my problem. They just said, hey, you're not doing it right. And so I just kind of guessed. But what it drove me to do was I did these IMs because I knew that there wasn't a book anywhere. I mean, I'd been to enough shrinks and shit. And I just started doing, hey, I am powerful. I am smart. I just needed to put some fuel in my tank. Right now, if your tank is empty, there is no need for you to go smoke dope or drink or do anything else. Dude, sit down and say, I am a one of one from this universe. I will not treat myself like a piece of shit, a loser. You're a one of one, man. My God, you're a one of one. Not one of two, not one of 20, not one of 21 million. You're one of one. In this place in time, you're here for a freaking reason. That is the biggest liability. In my opinion, this is the biggest challenge of man. Why am I here? And I can't think of a better reason to be here than to be doing this, actually. Like seriously, I look back on the men and women that I really value, and it is the teachers and the philosophers. It is the teachers and the philosophers that I value over everyone, including the priest, by the way. It is the educators, okay, the honest men who want you and I to become God or like God or as close to God as one could imagine. A God, I don't know what we are, okay? I just know that I'm better. I am much, much, much bigger than I think I am. I am much bigger and able and more capable than I've ever considered myself. And so are you. Okay. Like I really believe there's a lot more. And no amount of money, no amount of stock, no amount of Bitcoin is going to change that. Okay. It does not define your value. My value is what I bring to the table right now, today, to the people around me, to my universe. So I'm going to say goodbye now. Been hopefully good for everyone. I know a lot of people got shaken out this week. I'd like to just maybe go through a few of the people that are in here in the room, just acknowledge that you're here. I really appreciate you guys being here. Each and every one of you, Crypto Savant, Martin, let's see, Martin, he said, we're in the image of God. That's what I meant, man. Tim Blanche, I am God. See, I like that. I hear when people say that and they're like, hey, man, that's blasphemy. I am God, dude. That's the way I read the deal. Right. I am love. I am God. I am goodness. It sounds so fairy, right? I'm proud to be able to say, I am love, dude. I am love. I cannot believe a tough guy like me saying the love word, but I am love. I don't know how to use it well. Isn't that funny? I know how to do math better than I know how to love. What? I know how to do calculus and math better than I know how to do love. A1 says, God has a way of showing me the way. I am the way, my friend. I just got to get all the other stuff out of my way so that I can be. Prayer is powerful indeed. I am is a prayer. I am. I am. Stacy Lewis, how about some Thoughty one? Would you try that thoughts? I don't know what that means. Rachel, good morning, Granny. We got Hitch Lap in the room. It's all a part of life. Gary Wright again. Stacy Lewis, thank you for being here. James Belden, thank you for Behan. Thank you for being here. Crypto Charge, Martin, Crypto Savant, Undie, Stacy Lewis again. Line Trash, thanks for being here, man. Brent Garrett, thank you. Tim Blanche, James Balkin, James Smith. James Smith was the first guy in the room. Darius Poydras. I am thankful for Gary C's messages and the consistency. Keep going, boss. Follow your gut every session. Thank you, sir. Consistency. Thank you for reminding me. Consistency, in my opinion, is key and king, man. Consistency. If I am not consistent here, whether I am ready or prepared or not, you guys will not like it. You'll stop coming, right? You like the consistency. I know you do. That's one of the rules of providing information to anyone. That information is consistent and reliable. I will not ever not show up here, assuming I can. As I said, 1,000 people show up in a room. I'm showing up, dude. I can't not. You know why? Because to do the right thing. Everybody asks me this all the time. Hey, what's the right thing to do? What's the right thing to do? The right thing to do is the right thing to do. It's not complicated. It's not complicated. The right thing to do is the right thing to do. And you will always know it by simply asking yourself one question. What's the right thing? The right thing is the right thing to do. It's really, really not complicated. It's when you're trying to dodge the effects or the results of doing the right thing, which for me is, oh wow, people are going to make fun of me. I'm talking about love. Ooh, I couldn't think all that through. I showed up here. This is scary for me, dude. I showed up here because I was told to show up here. Once you get your other messages out of your mind, your parents' messages, your own viewpoints, and weird, zero fact based perspectives on life. Once you understand what you believe and what you don't believe and how it interferes and interacts with the things you do every day and the mistakes you're making, it becomes really, really clear that knowing myself, really understanding what's driving me. You know, I know people that lose $100 million because that wasn't their deal. $100 million and what they were designed to do on this planet and what their real agenda is, it wasn't consistent. They needed to lose it so that they could become better people. Maybe they self-sabotage themselves. I don't know. I just know one thing. I am supposed to be here. I cannot tell you what you're supposed to be. I can tell you that your emotions are not going to get you there. The only emotion that's really, really, really useful for me is fear. And if I listen to my fear, and go toward it, I'm usually greatly rewarded. If I go toward areas that I am a little uncomfortable or a lot uncomfortable with, I'm not talking about going and doing stupid stuff, okay? I'm going to go drive a car 800 miles an hour. No, I'm talking about doing things that, ooh, that feels really scary to do. That's exposing me. Ooh, it is those things. It is those things that determine the champions from those that fight a whole lifetime or maybe multiple lifetimes coming in touch with. I'm willing to be aware and uncomfortable and comfortable, okay? I'm willing to live fully. I live a life of adventure, not of one of quiet desperation. Guys, anybody that is in quiet desperation, and you know, every one of you, 4,000 people, every one of you people know someone at 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, and 10, 12 that is in quiet desperation, especially the older people. Please share this with them. Please share this room with them. They don't have to watch the video. Just send them the recording. Okay. Introduce them to this. I don't think they have anywhere to go. I wish they did. I don't have anywhere to go. We were not designed to live lives of quiet desperation. We're making mistakes if we're living quiet lives of desperation. Okay. It's sad. So let's go. Let's light up, everybody. Let's share water and seed and thought and good. Let's share love with people, man. Okay? That's all we got to do. You need to go out. In fact, I'll give you, if you send this link to someone that's never been sent the link to, and tell them that I begged you to have them join next week or at least listen to the show, you've done your good deed for the day. Okay? If you want to go above and beyond, go out and help somebody today, okay? Be nice to another human being that you don't know, okay? That's the trick. You can't know them. It's got to be a stranger. Go do something really cool for somebody. This world is not beyond healing. In fact, the closer we get to insanity, I think the closer we get to a day of enlightenment and awakening and transparency. I beg you to be as authentic as possible. It is not going to kill you. I promise you, it will not kill you. It will actually make people like you and me and all your friends around you become more authentic. You set the stage for authenticity, and the people around you will do one of two things. They will either tease you because they're immature and scared to be authentic or don't know who they are to be authentic, or it will open up and bring other people who are authentic. And there you're going to determine who you want to hang out with. The authentic or those that want to embellish and gloss over things. Life is difficult sometimes. Adventures are painful, and that is what makes them rewarding and glory. I love you guys. I thank you so much for being here. I would beg you to access your inner champion, your genius. You know, if you put a bunch of positive stuff on me, you're Gary Cardone. Like, it's okay for you to like look at somebody and go, hey, I like that cat. Okay. All your heroes will disappoint you. I will grossly disappoint you as a human being. Okay. But if you have an image of me that you think is really cool, good. Use that. You can use it. I give you total permission, but you're not me. I'm not you. Love to be, oh, wow, he's a guiding light. You know, I'm most certainly a flawed light. And a light that will go out one day. And I'm so thankful for the men before me that had the courage to do what I'm doing right here. Alan Watts of the world, the Carl Jungs, every philosopher that's ever studied mankind, that I have read and even not read, all of you that had the guts to look inside, that is where our solutions are, folks. I'm convinced of that. So I'm really proud to be doing this. I really appreciate you being here. I love each and every one of you, and I only want the very best for you and the world around us, man. It is going to take every one of us. Thank you very much. You guys have an awesome weekend. Be nice to somebody. I am a powerful son of a bitch. I need you to do your I ams today, okay? You need to do your I ams. Write your I am. Dude, write it as big as you want, okay? I am a great teacher. I am an artist. I am a brilliant man, okay? I am a brilliant man. There's no shame in me saying that to myself. I am well-meaning and authentic, and so are you. Love you guys. Take care. See you next week.